Good Friday morning, Mount Olive family and friends of Mount Olive. All you tuning in to watch another Friday devotion. Appreciate each one of you for taking the time, as I always say, to watch my devotion, all the other guys' devotion. Appreciate all the kind words that you give to us when you see us. Appreciate the words that you said that we're helping to encourage you in your walk with the Lord, and that's what we're here for. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Oh, so move myself out of the way a little bit here. So I hope you got to listen to Brother Jason's message for the first of the year, January 1, 2023. His message was entitled 5 Lessons from Matthew 14:22 through 33 for a productive 2023. I hope you got a chance to listen to it. Thought that was a very good message for this coming into this new year. And he gave 5 different points, and I'm going to look at point number 3. Let me get this thing going here. It says, even when we can't see God, his eyes are always on us. That was the point number 3 that he had. And so I'm taking part of his sermon, his scriptures that he had. It's Matthew chapter 14, verse 25 through 26 here. It says, and in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went unto them walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. And then I found this little graphic that says, Lord, open my eyes to see your hand of help is always near. And that's what we really need to do. Now, as Brother Jason says in his message, we will all go through storms. It's how we deal with the storms that matters. The storms come to us all, whether we are saved or not saved. But when they come, each group, whether we're saved or whether we're not saved, will react with either fear or with faith. Now, for those of us who are saved, knowing that even when it is hard to see God through the storm, he still sees us, and that builds our faith. Now, in Proverbs, said in 18:10, it says, the name of the Lord is a high tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. And then the psalmist in Psalm 61, 1 through 3, it says, hear my cry, O Lord, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Verse 3 says, for thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. Now, David in this psalm, even though he says his heart is overwhelmed, he has not taken his eyes off of God. Even though he may not be able to see him or feel him near, he knows God is there to be his rock and to be his shelter and to be a strong tower to what is coming against him. He knows that his God will never fail him. Now, let's look at how the disciples reacted to one night when they were in the ship. So I'm going to go back to Matthew 14, 24 through 31. Jesus had just fed the 5,000, and he tells them to go in the ship, go over the other side. They leave, and he goes up into the mountain and prays. And in verse 24, it says, but the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, and the winds were contrary. And in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went unto them walking on the sea. And in verse 26, it says, and when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. Notice I underlined this fear. Now, the 4th watch would have been from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. sunrise. And Jesus comes to them walking on the water, and Matthew said they were troubled. Now, this word troubled in the Greek means to disquiet or to strike one's spirit with fear and dread. So fear took the place of faith because no one had ever seen anyone come walking on the water, and especially in the rough waters and heavy winds. But he had just fed 5,000 men, not counting women and children, with 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and had 12 baskets left over. And you would have thought that their faith would have allowed them to expect the unexpected from Jesus, but fear won out. But Jesus saw their fear. And he says in Matthew 14:27, but straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Now Jesus saw their fear, even though they couldn't see him clearly in the storm. And he said, be of good cheer, be comforted, do not fear. And he will do the same for us. Come back to our graphic. Lord, open my eyes to see the hand of help is always near. So when the storms and trials of life come, and they will, be assured that your faith in God is always, that you be assured that in your faith that God is always near and is very present help in the time of need. So, whatever it is that you're going through, you may not think that God is there, but God is always near to us. He's always that present help that we need when we'll just call on him. I hope you've enjoyed this Friday devotion. I ask you to be much in prayer for our service this Sunday, that someone will come and will see their need for a Savior. We'll thank the Lord for bringing back our mission team safely. Hopefully you got to listen to the God Moments on Wednesday night. A lot of good reports of what happened there. So that we're planning a trip back to Nicaragua in June. If you would like to go, you can contact Brother TJ or contact myself, and we'll talk to you about that trip. Love each one of you, and we'll see you Sunday morning.